I wrote down my perception of myself. I read this perception of myself daily. And it was the first time, after I learned to visualize all of this a few years ago, I wrote my perception of myself. I'm going to read it to you now. And that's it. Every morning I read it like it was my knowledge about myself, so that all my other thoughts would disappear when I had to communicate with different people. They all have their own experience, and they say something, say, and my attention is paid to everything they say. And it is paid in any case. I then began to filter their words so that no one would talk about something negative in my presence. Just let them discuss all of this with someone else. I started filtering a lot, who discusses what in my presence at that time, and my attention just started to develop and grow only in certain figures that I was interested in, and so on. Only there. That's it. And everything else, no doubts. No extraneous thoughts. I simply did not pay my attention to everything extraneous, to all of that. I suggested that it could be like this, and if like this didn't work, I simply did not communicate. Very simple. And I didn't waste my attention, even if they were my relatives, it didn't matter. This is my life, I have to live it somehow. I will not torture myself because they want to torture themselves. I don't care, let them torture themselves. I do not impose myself on anyone. And I am not trying to save anyone or to change something in life and all that. Let them live as they want to. I give everyone the opportunity to experience what they want to experience. That's it. The question is, I understand that I cannot change their lives. I am the only one here. People come and go. That's why I left everyone alone. I directed my attention to myself, and here, I can do everything with myself, and that's all. That is where my attention is. But in reality, when my life has changed, this change in my life has affected the change of a large number of people. And perhaps, if before that I tried to change everything like that, to help, it probably wouldn't have worked out. But it is unknown in reality. It turned out the way it turned out. So then I started to form such a perception of myself. I'm going to read it to you now. I know it is huge. At that time I had an ego of infinite size. Specifically, perception of myself. So, I am a happy, grateful, loving, healthy person with absolute faith in God and an audience of 500 million people on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. My knowledge benefits hundreds of millions of people on planet Earth. I am the founder of the largest holding in the world. I am the founder of a modern community of people who develop humanity and bring it benefit. I have tens of billions of dollars at my disposal, which benefit the universe, realize all my ideas and those of talented people. The ideas of talented people multiply and once again benefit the universe. My character is one of the most popular on planet Earth. I have a music album that was ranked #1 in the global Billboard chart. I have acted and continue to act in various world-class movie projects, and I also directed my own movie based on real events, and it is now one of the most popular movies in the world. And this is just a brief overview, next I, so to say. I clarify a bit from myself. Here, faith in God. I know that I owe my life to a higher form than myself. I learn to be His eyes, hands, feet, ears, voice, and everything I can be for Him, to fulfill His will. For this I learn to be open. I do not look from above, I do not look from below. I learn to be aware of every moment, to see everything as it is. I am grateful for this opportunity and know that I must help people and the universe to function properly and not lose faith in myself. I trust God. Love, happiness, and gratitude. I know that I am perfect. I came into this world already like this. I am not searching for anything, because I know that everything is already inside me and around me. I choose the feelings I want to experience. I feel infinite love from God, because wherever I look, I see abundance in everything. I give this love to humanity. I am happy and grateful every day. Now, of course, everything looks very funny. Well, I hadn't yet lived through the experience. I was just like that. I had such an ego, and I wrote all of this. And get rid of those forms of dependency that cling to my physical body. I made my character, my mascot, popular. I created my character, a mascot, and made him popular using my social media. My character creates content for me around the world at the same time. This led to me becoming one of the most popular characters on the planet, since the character generates such a volume of content that no other person on Earth can create. My character gives concerts around the world simultaneously. The most popular music album in the world is Earth of Space. The album shows the connection between Earth and space, showing people that they all live on one planet, but they live so differently. And how they live and what they feel is solely their choice. This was facilitated by two main triggers. The first person in the history of humanity to record his album line by line in the most popular places on Earth, and the first person in the history of humanity to record a song in space. With the album Earth of Space, I made at least 15 billion views worldwide. And after returning from space, the algorithm kicks in, hundreds of millions of streams from all over the world. Send it to the top of the global music chart. The most popular movie in the history of humanity. The history of the album Earth of Space became super popular worldwide. Directors from all over the world lined up to make a movie about a boy who changed himself and changed the whole world around him. This movie was shown worldwide, and its box office became the largest in the history. Its purpose was to show people that there's no need to search for anything. Everything is already here. The movie shows that I am just a person like them. And only when I changed myself from within, my whole life changed. The movie teaches people to be happy, grateful every day, and teaches them to do everything with love, to live with love, to teach, to realize, learning and development. My knowledge is used by hundreds of millions of people. I know that I must share my knowledge with people, so I create a lot of educational content in the field of mindfulness and manifestation. My lessons are becoming bestsellers around the world, all at super affordable prices. I want people all over the world to understand that the universe and Earth are the same for all people, and only what is in their heads and hearts separates them from the life of their dreams. I have opened and am still opening mindfulness schools around the world, because I believe that if a person learns mindfulness, they will go and do everything they need to do for their life and the lives of others in the world. And such people are safe for the environment. I travel around the world and gather huge stadiums to share with people the story of my life and the knowledge that inspires them to start working on themselves. Charity, creating the Save the World Fund. The majority of the money that me and my brand receive from all businesses and areas of my activity, 50% or more, I donate to solving global problems. I help people, create mindfulness schools and so on. Here. Paintings, art. I love to paint. Well, that's the story. Specifically this. I wrote down a bunch of things, everything that I needed, right? And this was my perception of myself. I read it all day long, read. Listened again. Next, I made a bunch of reminders that I received every hour. More than 1 billion people follow me on all social networks. I am a dollar billionaire, love for God and gratitude. More than 500 million people follow me on Instagram. Here, I am on the cover of Forbes magazine. Earth of Space is the most popular music album and so on. I have a healthy body and spirit. I am here now, reading the list. I make videos that always resonate. That is, these are just thoughts. And all day long, my attention was daily, hourly in these thoughts. So, I realized that I cannot constantly concentrate on this, and this way I was able to keep my attention on these thoughts, due to the fact that everything was just there. My entire apartment. I woke up and, you see this board? These boards have been with me for many years. Well, for 4 or 5 years. I woke up, and in front of me was my bed with the caption, "Champion, get up, it's time to save the world." And there are many different thoughts already written about who I am and so on. That is, the first thing I saw upon waking was that caption. That's it, and I went to sleep again, looking at it. Wherever I looked, everywhere, at home, in the office, these reminders were everywhere. I even have that to this day, the consciousness of Anar dreams, 1 million followers. Well, an image was created. I am now free from this, but it just happened. It was created. So yes, I just constantly look at this. That's it, and it just knows that it exists. And then somehow everything falls into place. And that's it, I did this too, because I meet different people, and they have all sorts of doubts and so on, and communication just happens. And in communication, attention is focused on their words. Or you scroll through your phone, watch some videos, your attention is drawn to what was said there. Something happens somewhere, there are news on Telegram or on TV, and your attention starts to scatter there. And so I started trying to do it this way, so that all my attention, most of it was focused on my perception of my world. And the whole world changed, in an inexplicable way. I don't seek explanations for this, they don't exist. So just write down your perception of yourself, and just look at it. Look and imagine. So, I read all of this. It still evokes emotions. After all, you feel something when you read all this about yourself, and you don't have to do it like I do. You can do it your way, just as you want to. Make your own. This. Well, and this. Well, by the way, at this moment I've let it all go. I wrote it then. But now, Now I don't care. I just stay in the moment, what comes, what goes. Something like that. I have freed myself from all of this. Just imagine. Back then I also thought that I was making this choice, and everything like that. And it was written almost in every line that I was choosing something. I specifically lived very rigidly in this concept of achievement, of the idea that a choice can be made. It remained relevant for a long time. And one day, so to say, I paid attention to myself and saw everything as it really is during spiritual practice. And I freed myself from everything. All my desires were instantly fulfilled. I surpassed all my desires. I found that which is beyond all desires, that which all desires combined cannot give me. Not like I found it, but it was always here. It is here and now. But all these desires, constantly obscured. Every day I woke up, and what did I think? Immediately the board, everything is written on it. I ran straight to God knows where and God knows why. And so all day long, I was achieving something. All day long my attention was focused on creating some kind of world. And there was no joy. Only my ego was growing from all these so-called achievements. And achievements were only for the ego. In reality, there were never any achievements. I had never achieved anything. In reality. It just was happening. By itself. And it happens and will happen. But I didn't know that. Simply out of ignorance. Just because my attention was focused on all of this. But it was part of my path. My path